Hey everybody, Dano here from Everyday's Turkey Day, and today I have a review for you. Or actually, it's more of my first thoughts, but it's on Kingdom Come by Mark Waid and Alex Ross. And the reason why I say it's more of a first reaction to this is because I'm not going to be going super in depth with it, as there are already many videos on YouTube where they do a good job of that, and that's just something I'm not going to be doing for this video. However, if you are interested in my thoughts, that is what I'm going to be giving you. So, as I said, this is by writer Mark Waid. The story is fantastic. You got art by Alex Ross, which this is some of the best art I've ever seen in a comic book. It's paintings, but it's photorealism, and it's just so good. So, to give you a little bit of the story without spoiling too much, this is an Elseworlds comic where it takes place in its own universe. As you may or may not know, Elseworlds is pretty much DC's version where they want to tell stories, but they don't necessarily want to put them in the DC continuity. So that's good news. So you can just pretty much pick this up without having to know like any sort of backstory. Of course, like it would help if you know the characters, the classic DC characters such as Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, all those guys, but you don't need to know any other sort of stories coming into this. So the story takes place in the distant future where all the superheroes you know and love have pretty much been out of the public eye for about a decade, such as Superman, Hal Jordan, The Flash, Wonder Woman, Batman. All those guys have been pretty much out of the public eye. Well, except for, Batman was kind of running Gotham as his own police state, but he was still back in his Batcave doing it. He wasn't necessarily out on the streets punching people in the face anymore. But, so they've been gone, and in their place came pretty much the children and grandchildren of all these superheroes throughout the ages, and they are totally different from the superheroes The superheroes had a lot more morals, where, they might kick the shit out of a villain, but they would never kill him. But these new superheroes pretty much killed all the villains. And not only that, but the public kind of had a change in perspective too, to where that's what they wanted. They wanted the superheroes to really take it to that level. So with this, now that all the villains are gone, all the younger superheroes now are pretty much just infighting and fighting themselves. And because of that, they've become a lot more reckless, and a lot of humans have suffered, collateral damage because of that, gotten hurt because all these other, newer superheroes are just, flying around, crashing into buildings and not really giving a shit. So in that sense, it sort of kind of reminds me of, that Marvel story, Civil War. And this is kind of very much so like DC's Civil War that actually, I guess, came out before Civil War. But anyway, so you have the younger superheroes as a group, and then an event happens, which I'm not going to spoil, but Wonder Woman goes to Clark on his farm and is kind of like, hey, we need you, you're our leader. Some stuff's going down, and we need you to kind of come and rally the troops and lead everybody so that these young guns don't kind of destroy the world. So he does that, and also he tries to recruit Batman, but as I said, Batman was kind of doing his own thing with Gotham and running it from the Batcave, and it was very much like a police state where he patrolled the streets with these like robot kind of bat machines. But Batman pretty much says, no, I'm not doing that. I think, superheroes have done enough damage. I think it's time the humans kind of figure this stuff out for ourselves. So there's that. So you kind of have all these different dynamics and different ideas of how to solve this problem, or, how to just go about everything. And it all comes to a head at the end. And the ending, I don't know, I really like the ending. Some people kind of say it's a cop-out, but I thought it was done perfectly. And it really makes you like a character who you may or may not have heard of before, Shazam. But I thought it was really cool how they used him. And yeah, just overall, it's just a really good story. And I give a lot of 5 out of 5s on this channel, because pretty much like if I like it and it has good art, I'll either give it a 4 or a 5 out of 5. But this is a 5 out of 5 in the truest sense of it. Like, this story is quite possibly the best comic book story of all time, if not at least, top 5, top 10. The art is phenomenal. The story is phenomenal. And it is a must read if you're a comic book fan. And, even if you're not a comic book fan, I still think you'd enjoy it. So, yeah, 5 out of 5. So that is my review for Kingdom Come. I hope you enjoyed it. And one little side note before I get to a close here. They actually say, because this came out in the 90s when Image Comics was just coming up, Tom McFarlane, Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, all those guys kind of left Marvel and went out to start their own independent comic book company, Image Comics. And Image Comics, a lot of their superheroes were sort of big musclehead type dudes who would pretty much shoot everything up in the vein of like kill them all, let the Lord sort them out. And so it is said that a lot of the younger superheroes in this story, Kingdom Come, are actually based on what was going on at the time, that everybody that was, coming up new in comics, or the new age of heroes, was kind of, far away from the original comic book superheroes that had morals and sort of taught lessons. So I thought that was really interesting and really cool as well. But yeah, so thank you for listening. Have a great day, and yeah, peace.